of our speaker series, get to know the speakers, get to know what it is that's going on at CHATTcon 2021. Before we jump into our conversation with Luca real quick, I want to just share what's going on. So first of all, CHATTcon, Convergence of Human and Animal Training and Technology. We have flipped the model in a sense where we pre-recorded all of our content. So we are actually live with all of our 15 hours or so of content, whole slew of different speakers I'll show in just a sec. And you watch all of those. Access was granted on May 1st. It goes all the way through our event dates. Our event dates for Friday, June 25th and Saturday, June 26th of this year are reserved purely for Q&A and interaction with the guests and the speakers, and speakers chatting amongst each other. So we're a virtual conference. You can jump on, you can still sign up. Just because you haven't signed up now doesn't mean you can't. And we have a whole slew of different speakers, as you can hopefully see here. And today we wanted to talk a little bit with Luca about his contribution here. So welcome, thank you. If you don't mind sharing a little bit of who you are, what you do, we'll kind of start there.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Luca Canever from Italy, and well, in my daily job, I'm a special needs teacher in high school. I work in a high school in Italy, and but also during the some nights and when I have free time for school, I work with TAGteach as a faculty member. So I'll be involved in their programs, developing programs and teaching and courses, everything. And I'm really happy to be here in the CHATTcon because I want to be with you, Ryan and John, for like forever. And then finally we got the opportunity, even if it is not the trip that I dreamt to come to Seattle, but it's already a good privilege, a great honor. And it's really interesting talking about the convergence between animal and human training, because that's how I get involved basically in what I'm doing right now in my life. Because when I started thinking about teaching, I had this beautiful idea to give as a gift to my fiancée a puppy. So it was a beautiful golden retriever. It was just amazing. And so I told her, I have your gift for you. We have to go in a place, we get your gift. And she was expecting some, I don't know you call them in USA, but the blankets that cover the seats in the car.
Okay. The car seat covers.
Yes, so that's what she was expecting. And then I drive off in the country and to this place, and she was, no, you can do that. And she got out of the car, she met the owner of the facility, and she said, I'm not sure. She was like that. So talking about body language, I'm not sure I'm getting back the puppy because I don't want it. And no. And the owner was coming up. So, okay, let's talk a little bit, come inside. And so she was like sitting like there in this beautiful hall. And one of his worker came. She was dressed like with red and flowers on the shirt, and she was holding this puppy. And Francesca, she saw the puppy and she was and the owner give the puppy to Francesca, and that's it. So she fell in love with that dog, and we start training to that facility. And after a year or so, one instructor began to talk to me about this new thing about clicker training. What is the clicker training? So I think it was 94, something like that, 94, 95. So there was just the beginning of using internet. So I found out something, and I found that you need this tool that make this click-clack sound for training your dog. So I didn't have any store that could sell these things, this clicker, and so I built my own clicker, bending the cover of the lid of a jar, and that make the sounds. So I started with that with Arius. So we started with Salami and all the clicker thing and stuff, and they get more and more involved with the clicker thing. So years passed, and then I started doing my business as training dogs, and basically for not for sport, just for puppies training and the pets training. And then he came 2008, and we started our family. So we were expecting Alessandro. And I found out that using the clicker training, using positive reinforcement, all the things that I've done with dogs and animals during those years, it was something good to do for my son. And it felt good to do that. So I started reading some books. I think that the first book was The Power of Positive Parenting by Dr. Latman. Okay. And then in 2009, I got the book from Karen Pryor, Reaching Animal Mind, and chapter 7, I found out about TAGteacher. And I opened the book, TAGteach is blah, 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 closed the book, pick up my computer and book the first available TAGteach seminar in Europe, and that was 2010. That was the beginning of my journey. Yes.
Very cool. So, what are you doing nowadays? Like a little bit of everything, right?
Yes, both. Basically both. I've been so I moved from what I was doing as a job before. In 2012 2014 I started working in education, and I took a special degree for working with what's the name in English, special needs students.
Okay.
And so I started working with them in 2016. And then in 3 years ago, I got hired from my school where I've been working. So for the last 3 years, I've been working with 2 students, basically, and their classroom, of course, because that's how the things work in Italy. And so I work with one of my students. I've developed a lot of materials and a lot of programs working with using precision teaching and TAGteach, combining the two. Lately, using precision teaching. And so for those of you who are not familiar with precision teaching, it is basically a tool to register in short timings, like 1 minute or 30 minutes, very, very specific behaviors. And what your aim, your goal with the students is to perform specific behaviors, like say reading or writing digits or writing letters, whatever is your goal, as fast as possible, and to reach a given specific rate for minutes of these behaviors. So I'm working on this with my students, and using precision teaching is, for me, it's a really great tool, because it gives me the perspective where I'm going, if the program is working or not. So for give you an example, this student of mine, when I first met him 3 years ago, he is a really slow reader. So he can read something like 19, maybe 20 words per minute. So it was really slow. In 3 years of program, working day by day, we have moved to like 50, maybe 60 words per minute, which is, it's not that much, but it's a double. So it's a great result. But if you don't record the data day after day after day, you won't miss all these changes, because they are so subtle during days and during times that you will miss the point. You will realize that year after year that is reading better, but better is not a good measurement for what we are doing and what we want to achieve. So that's why I'm relying a lot in recording and using data to assess my program.
Very cool. Precision teaching has been represented at CHATTcon, I think each year. Yeah, for sure, each year. And this year we have Kimberly Behrens, Dr. Kimberly Behrens, sharing some outcomes and like what would happen if you educated from that perspective. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it's like definitely my favorite measurement system and approach, because you can react to the students' behavior in the real time. And like you said, the goal being fluency. So, real quick, let's maybe end on a little conversation around your topic this year. So it's teacher burnout and what you've learned. And burnout, especially in the behavior analysis field, has been an increasingly popular topic for very unfortunate reasons, right? That burnout's happening all the time. So maybe share a little bit about why you selected that.
So when I started working with special education, my idea was, okay, I knew big deal about behaviors and positive reinforcement and antecedents and all this kind of stuff that we all know. And so I have the tool, I'm the teacher, I know how these things work, and it is my duty to make these things happen, and you're learning and everything. So it was a sort of fight of me fighting against everyone else, because in Italy the tools of precision teaching, TAGteach, and behavior analysis, especially in schools, are not that familiar. So it's me that I'm working in a completely different setting, completely different way that anybody else, literally anybody else in public education. Mm-hmm. So it was me that I have to demonstrate that things work. And so it was a lot of pressure, especially when you know that you have the tools, you have everything ready, and your students say, no, no, thank you, I want to do something different. And I don't want to do the drills that I did yesterday. I don't want to do the activity that you have planned for me, even if I love them very, very much, but I love them yesterday and not today. And today I want to do something really different. So I kind of start feeling this pressure. So it was me failing my student, it was me failing my program, it was me failing behavioral analysis as the science that Skinner and all the others invented. Mm-hmm. And that was a lot of pressure. So we had most of the last school years, we were closed for the COVID, so we worked on distance with my student, and we have some good improvements, and because it was a kind of much more easier for him to work with the computer, because we have settled the timings, were more adaptable for him. It was more calmer and all the things. In September we went back to school, and we started some horrible days with him, just horrible, because he's starting. He's turning 16, so he's an adolescent. He wants to do things by himself, like everyone else. So he's growing. So he's not the one. He doesn't want to comply every day. So I come back a few days with just bad days. I'm not saying that we were like fighting, but I was really holding on. Just keep calm.
Yeah.
And that was my burnout. And burnout happened when I got sick. Basically, I was sick. So I'm usually a healthy person, so I don't get sick very often. But the last year and this one, so 2021, I got sick many times. And now I know. So I was asking to myself more and more. So in October, I have to stop. Literally, I had to stop. And then so it was like 1 month of recovery. Being sick at home, and then the COVID, and then all the other things. Mm-hmm. And when so what I realized that I need to ask to someone for help to start a new journey, a new trip, a new life, basically, of work. Yeah. So when I was healing, I did some consulting with a friend of mine who lives in Argentina, and he is an expert about the how your body resonates, so the resonance of your body, so how do you respond to energy and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And he can read all these things in your body, and he can tell you what is going on and what you need to do to change. So it's something that you want or you don't want to believe it, but it's something that if you believe in this, it gives you some perspective, something that you want to change. And that's what I did. So I started to work on the things that he told me. I worked with him 3 or 4 times, and by the time I was back at school, I realized that with all the knowledge, with everything that I know, with all the tools, I have to stop. It was not everything my responsibility. I have to do it. In teaching, there is one part of the share that is about the teacher, and there is one part of the share that is about the student. And the teacher can do his best to bring the students to work with him, but sometimes the student is a different and independent organism. He can say no, and that is something that you want and need to accept, because that's how things work. So there is nothing you can do about that. And accept this was really through changing my life, so changing me the perspective. So I have to give myself to my students space to express themselves outside of the things or the plans that I wanted for him and that I prepared for him. And so the point is that this is one part of my recovery. The second part is that I have to recognize that my students sometimes it doesn't want to work with me, right? So because I don't know, he's upset, he hasn't slept well, it could be everything. In any case, I can't just give up on him, say, okay, fine. In any case, I have to do my best. I have to prepare the best conditions for him to respond. My best conditions, so the things that I can plan for him today, which are not the things that I can do tomorrow because I will learn new things and I will come up with better plans. So my idea is that I have to do the best of what I can do today and see what happens. And if things doesn't work, okay, that's not my fault. It's something that I need to change. There's something that I need to change, something that I need to adapt. And also this changing is not something that I will do tomorrow or in 2 days or 3 days. It's something that it will happen eventually. I have to find time to see what's going on. So it's not that I have the magic wand and say, okay, plan A is not working, so let's do plan B. The plan B is not in my pocket. I have to find it. So, for example, going back to the precision teaching, there is lately we have been at school most of the time, most of the days. We are not working in the system. And lately I've seen some of my programs not working as they've done before. So I need to change those programs. But for some of them, I haven't found yet a better solution. So for the moment, I will continue with the program, even if I know that they are not the perfect program, but at this moment are the best that I can do. I do not have all the answers. That would be easy. Otherwise, I could just Google some request and find out what's going on. But it's not that easy. So you need to accept that the learner can do what they want sometimes, and do not accept your program. And you have also to accept the fact that you don't have all the answers. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And you need to find them, but it's not you against the world to find them. So they will come up. So let me give you an example. That's a fantastic thing that happened to me. Let me give you an example of this. So, I've been training for archery for 4 years now. And in the last year and a half, I haven't trained basically due to COVID and the things I was doing. So, and finally, last week, I have to come back to my archery. And before doing that, I try at home to shoot some arrow just to give me some muscle memory back and muscle strength back. And what happened is that the first arrows that I shoot after 1 year and a half was the best arrows I ever shoot. Because the programs, it was like that the programs, even if I wasn't working every day on the program, on my training, archery training, in some way it has continued to evolve within my, behavior repertoire, say that way. And the same is with the school. Maybe the program, I know the precision teaching is great because you can change the program after in 2-3 days, you can adapt, right? Because you have you see the data telling you that what you're doing or not. But you have to allow yourself to find the better plan and not push yourself and say, no, you're a better teacher because you don't have plan B ready. Plan B will come, and it will come if you stick with the ethical law of doing your best, trying to do your best, and don't give up on my students. I just take time, but I get them involved, we play, we do other things.
Very cool. Thank you for all that.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, Luca's presentation, Teacher Burnout, What I've Learned from Animal Training, is actually up and live along with all the others. So y'all can go check those out at CHATTcon. I've linked it down below. And I think that's it for today. Luca, you can stay on, but we can say bye to everybody on the live.
Okay.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you very much. It was very great to talk to you and to everyone. So
Cool.
see you on CHATTcon.
Yes, virtually.
Yes. Ciao.